I haven't seen a film that has genuinely left me speechless in such a long time. Hey guys, it's your girl Deborah, student singer, songwriter, and everything else in between. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about my favorite TV shows, movies, and everything in between. And today, get in here because we need to talk about Dune Part 2. So I just saw Dune Part 2 last night and I have some opinions, I have some thoughts. I wanted us to talk about it in this little community. You know what I'm saying? So recently, I started reading the first Dune book. I don't know why I would never took an interest in Dune before, but then I started listening to the books and I said, this makes sense. This makes sense. Only to find out that not only was it created in this late 60s, but also it inspired a lot of Star Wars, The Hobbit, a lot of stuff that we know today as sci-fi. And I was taken aback. My wig was blown, child. Okay. I saw the film yesterday and I have to say, I think I don't give films 10 out of 10 as a review, to be honest with you, but Dune had me gagging. And let me tell you, I personally think, in my humble opinion, Dune Part 2 was better than Dune Part 1. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first watched Dune Part 1, I actively, because I didn't read the book at the time, I actively was a little bit confused as to what was happening. Everything was so new to me, but at the same time, I do feel like the story, it wasn't as developed as it should have been. There wasn't that much development, which I understand because Dune has so much lore to it that you need different parts to be able to be introduced. You need different parts to be explained pretty well, and I think that was well done for sure. And also, it was a 2-hour, 30-minute long film, so they were already doing as much as they possibly could. When I finished watching the first Dune film, I truly did feel nothing. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was beautifully done. It was well executed, but I didn't feel shaken by the film. I didn't feel shaken. I didn't feel oh, my world has been rocked. I am shaketh. I'm shooketh to the core. Okay. But this film, Part 2, oh yeah, baby. It had me shaking. It had me and my good friend, my good sis, shaking when we left the theater because I said, wait a damn minute. So let's get into it. First of all, the cinematography, stunning. The visual effects are stunning. I have no criticism. I experienced Dune Part 2 in a Dolby atmosphere theater, and the everything was shaking. I felt like I was in the world of Dune. I mean, the directors, the editors, the producers, they know what they're doing when they're creating such a film. Dune 8, when it comes to its cinematography, when it comes to its videography, when it comes to the special effects, it is just that film, period. The acting, for sure. I mean, definitely the storyline was more developed during this time around, and I can actually, now that I've read the books as well, I can follow it up. But also I went with a friend who had never read the books before, and she actually understood what was happening, which is always a very, very good sign. And I loved the storyline. I will say, Dune had me shook for the specific reason that it knew how to give me a plot twist. Even though I kind of saw the plot twist kind of coming, I was shaken. If you have never read the books, and I'm not that far in the book, so I'm not going to be the biggest book person, but I saw that the book, the way it's being set up, it kind of gives you this false narrative of Paul, right? So you think he's going to be a hero, he's going to save the Fremen, and he's going to go down the stereotypical, chosen one path. Except the thing is, he is a chosen one. Everything is confirming that he is the Kwisatz Haderach. I don't know how to pronounce it well. I'm so sorry. Even his sister in the womb, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. But everyone's kind of confirming that he is this Messiah. He is Ma'adib. I think that's how it's pronounced. On both sides of the coin, he seems to be this chosen one. But my guy is not a hero. And I loved how the film portrayed that. And I think it was necessary to have Part 1 the way it was, because in Part 2, you see the constant gradual change. At the beginning, when he's in love with Chani is a sort of mortal compass. Chani is the one that's reminding him, right, you don't need to change as a person, keep your humanity. But after he takes the water of life, when he had that speech moment in the middle of the Fremen, I knew he was gone. And when my girl Chani gave him that look, I knew it was over. There's so little films from the 2010s or the 2020s that have been able to show that kind of constant or rapid descent into not villainy, but you know what I mean. Being able to portray that has been very difficult for films nowadays. And let's not even talk about Game of Thrones, right? TV shows, movies like that haven't been able to do that well, but they did that in this film. And I was shaken. And I didn't know how to feel because on the one hand, I want the Fremen to be free. I want this government to be over, but at the same time, this is not how I wanted it to go, but I'm also hooked. You know what I'm saying? Period. I loved the love story between Chani and Paul. I really hate how it ended like that. And I know in the books, it's not supposed to end like that. Apparently, Chani has a son for Paul later. And of course, I don't want to spoil it too much for everybody, but I was really wanting to see more of that development, but the film did take a little bit of a different path in that regard. I still would have loved a little bit more Chani, more Chani Paul moments. Like, I know this isn't supposed to be a romance, it's sci-fi, but I was eating it up. Like, I was eating it. The plot twist about Lady Jessica being a Harkonnen and then making Paul Atreides a Harkonnen shook me. It shook me. Me and my friend, we were looking at each other like, girl, did you know that? Because okay, girl. Y'all, the plot twist was twisting. I loved that. The battle scenes were also quite amazing. The battle scene between, I keep on forgetting his name. Is it Frey? The nephew of the Baron, and Paul Atreides really had me. I thought Paul was going, I thought he was going, I thought he was gone. And then he did a little plot twist where I think he had a second knife and stabbed Frey. It was so good. It was so good. Also, in the ending scene between when the Emperor comes down in his, should I say, sphere, and Paul and the Fremen go and attack them, and he has them hostage. Now, I know this is because like I haven't finished reading the books, but I do know that in the film, Paul changes from, I'm gonna change the wheel, I'm gonna, bring the Fremen to peace. He changes from that into wanting political power, and his motives have become very, very different, right? But the one thing that does have me a little bit confused is, why does he want to marry the Emperor's daughter? Like, why? Because to me, personally, the way I saw it, and especially the way in the direction the movie is going, why would you want to ally yourself? I know for political power, of course, and she said that she would be a willing bride if he spared her father. But the fact that, the Emperor's daughter knows a lot with the Bene Gesserit, and like the Bene Gesserit are always scheming, always. Why would you want to marry into that? Don't you fear that your own partner could presumably work against you and try and bring you down? Do you know what I mean? That to me is a little bit of an odd choice. If it was me personally, I would have destroyed the whole family, no shade, no tea. But like, there's so many things that can go wrong with that. What if you get poisoned in your sleep or something? I know that's not going to happen, but still, I don't know. That was a very interesting choice, but I'm excited to see how they're going to take that route. I'm excited to see it. Also, the acting was just spectacular. Everybody, Florence Pugh was giving, she gave Empress Daughter. There's a lot of religious influence here in this series, right? There's a lot of influences when it comes to Islam. With the Bene Gesserits, they also use a lot of, they use Catholicism. Okay, hi everyone, editing Deborah here. Okay, so first of all, before I continue this video, I just want to point out that I made a glaring mistake. I talk about the Bene Gesserits in this video, and I accidentally called them the Bene Gessuits. I'm so sorry about that. The last time I made an audible blunder, y'all drug me by my braids in the comments, so I'm letting you know now. If I say Bene Gessuits, I recorded this video 5 days ago. It's the Bene Gesserits. So, but anyways, okay, bye. Now, of course, I am not part of the Muslim community, so I cannot fully speak on it, but I do recognize, me and my friend, when we were talking about it, there's a lot of influences of Islam and the Muslim community, and the way they pray, the veiling outfits and how that is used. And while I'm not necessarily sure of this whole narrative of it being like a white savior film, I definitely do see a lot of points that people have made, in the fact that a lot of people in the Muslim community feel like this is a story that has erased their sort of identity in a sense. Okay, editing Deborah here again. Right, so I wanted to fully explain what I meant by this point. I've been watching some other video essays about Dune, and one of the reasons I actually debated on even doing a review on this film was I just felt so unprepared. I know it's not that serious because y'all just love to watch me talk about films anyways, but to me, I don't know, I would hate to have a whole project and someone not have the full understanding or details about what I aimed to do with this project. So for me, I take it a little bit seriously, in the sense of I just want to have the right information and be fully prepared before I talk about anything. I've been watching some other video essays. I'll try and post the thumbnails here. The first one was called Adapting Dune Without Arabs, which is a really, really long, good video essay. And I really loved that creator, how honest they were, and just just there was so much that I didn't know about the world of Dune and like Arab representation in films, and like because I'm not from the community, so I don't know, but I really think that's a really great video essay, and I'll link that in the description down below. There's also another video essay by the Book of James, which tells us about like the Arab influences and Arab and Islam and Dune, which is also pretty good, so I'll link that up here. You guys can definitely like check that out for sure. There's also some really good video essays as well happening about Dune, so I will be watching more of those, and when I come back and I feel like I have some good talking points, I'll definitely elaborate for sure. But right now, like, I'm just enjoying the film so far, and I'm just excited for the future. But anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know what I was really talking about. And I definitely see that point. I think it's just very much the law student in me to look at other points and look at other arguments as well and consider perhaps the different possibilities. So I want to leave that for you guys to also conclude on your own and see if you agree. Again, let me know down in the comments because I love when you guys tell me how you personally feel about it. But anyways, let's conclude this video. I would say that's my only criticism. And while I feel like I'm not in the right place to talk about like how this affects the Muslim community, I do definitely see the references. I personally feel like Frank was definitely trying to have some cultural commentary on how a lot of religions have a messiah, but you know, what if he's not the hero? Like I said, I want to read the books more to understand it and fully give like a more bigger criticism on it, but honestly, I really love where we're going so far, and I just wanted to talk about it. I want you guys to talk about it in the comments because I want to hear your takes. I want to hear how it made you feel, how like everything went. Like I just want to hear your guys' opinions. And yeah, that's all from me. Also, I personally think that Austin Butler playing Frey, like I was surprised to see him in the casting of this film, but he did a really good job. He did a really good job of playing a good sociopath. But I don't know, you guys tell me how you guys personally felt about this film. I really loved it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.
Oh my.